Hello, my name is Sean and I'm an elder at Andover Baptist Church. Thank you for joining me today. In this week of devotions, which I've titled I Never Knew That, we've been looking at things we often think are true but that actually are not. And we've said that this is often because we live much of our lives being told something is a fact, or we've just heard it repeated so many times that we've come to believe it to be true when it isn't. Things like bats are blind. They're not. In fact, there are over 1,000 species of bat. None of them are blind, all of them have eyes, and some of them even have really defined night vision. Or that sunflowers move to track the sun during the day. Well, this is true at bud stage, they do. Before the head appears, they do track the sun. But as soon as they mature and the bud stage appears, the one we all know, it stops and they just face east without moving. There are also some things in the Bible we wrongly come to believe as facts too. We've already talked about some of the often believed biblical things that aren't really in the Bible, but there are many quotes that people believe are from the Bible too, but actually come from somewhere else. How often have you heard the phrase, God works in mysterious ways? And people will tell you this comes from the Bible, but it doesn't. It's just one of many phrases that people wrongly associate with the Bible because it sounds biblical. God moves in a mysterious way was actually a hymn adapted from a poem written by William Cowper in 1773. The part which has become so often quoted comes from the very first line of verse 1, where it says, God moves in a mysterious way his wonders to perform. He plants his footsteps in the sea and rides upon the storm. And there are lots of other phrases that people think are in the Bible too, but which are not, even though they convey biblical principles. Phrases such as, be in the world, but not of the world. It's not in the Bible, not in those words. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Actually, that's an interpretation of a quote from St. Augustine in the 5th century, and it was also quoted by Gandhi. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Well, it's not a proverb, but it actually comes from a John Wesley sermon, though it sounds biblical. If you want to know more, then go ahead and investigate these things yourself. It's a great way to dig further into the Bible. Like the points I have made in earlier devotions this week, it isn't really important whether the phrases are in the Bible or not. What matters is the principle of them and what we can learn from them. The words God moves in mysterious ways may not be in the Bible, but in Romans 11 verses 33 to 36 we find these incredible words. Oh, the depth of the riches of the wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable his judgments and his paths beyond tracing out. Who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has been his counsellor? Who has ever given to God that God should repay him? For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever. It's not a mystery as such, but just that he is so far above us in all he does and thinks that we can only ever understand just a little of him, which, let's face it, is just what you want of God, isn't it? He should be like this. So often in my life, I've prayed for something only to find God answers in a way so completely different to what I wanted him to do, and so much better than I could have worked out myself. I remember many years ago in my workplace, I prayed for a promotion to a role and a grade that I thought I deserved, and I prayed for many weeks about it. But then there was a restructure of grades across the whole company, which meant I was effectively demoted, not promoted, and I was absolutely furious, and I told God that in no uncertain terms. But a few months later, the demotion opened up a route for me to a new role that was better paid and more enjoyable than the role I had originally been asking for. I didn't know that, and I would never have taken that route, but God knew it, and that's exactly the route he took. And I can promise you, I apologised to him a great deal after that, and I learnt from it. That's just one example. Will I never learn? Today, take some time to take a look back at your own life and try and remember times where something similar has happened to you, where you've prayed for something but where the outcome was different to what you had expected. Write it down as a reminder for you the next time you're angry with God for not answering your prayers, how you'd like. And then be patient and wait and see if he does things in a different way, in a mysterious way. I've chosen the song today by Matt Redman called We Have Nothing to Give, which just describes exactly how much God has given for us and how little we've given to him. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope you can join with me again tomorrow.